Good evening. On behalf of the school board, staff, and students of Crookston Public Schools, I want to welcome our friends, family, and honored guests to the 2022 Crookston High School graduation. This graduation is a celebration of the class of 2022's success and accomplishments. It also marks the completion of one journey and the beginning of a new one. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations to the class of 2022.
Good evening. I'm Nikki Martinez, Crookston High School principal. It is an honor for me to welcome students, parents, family members, members of the school board, and the staff here tonight. Before I present my remarks, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Torgerson, our assistant principal, and all the administrators for the work they do with students and their families. I would also like to give a special thank you to all of the district faculty and staff who are committed to the success of every student and continue to take personal interest in our students' academics and social developments. Additionally, I'd like any graduates from the class of 2022 who will be serving our country after graduation by going into the military to please rise for a round of applause. And finally, graduates, just as you have spent the last week walking our halls and reliving your memories here, we have a faculty member who has done the same. As you leave to go on another part of your journey tonight, so does our activities director, Greg Garman. Thank you, Greg, for the tireless hours of work and upholding the pirate way. And now to you, class of 2022. The skills you have learned and developed are critical components of any plan that you may have for your life. No matter what you do after high school, whether it's a student, an employee, a family member, consumer, voter, citizen, in any of your roles, you will need to use the strategic skills as readers, communicators, researchers, problem solvers, collaborators, and users of ever-changing technology. Everywhere and every day, you will rely on the skills that existed as a core part of your life at Crookston High School to better take on and understand the challenges that life will present to you. As you end this season of life and rush toward a new one, no matter where the road takes you, I have some advice. First, never stop learning. Of course, you would expect me to say that, right? After all, I'm an educator. But think of how far learning has taken you and where it will continue to take you, the places that you've never been. We are constantly learning phone numbers and addresses of places to work or visit, learning from YouTube how to fix and build things, learning new dances on TikTok to become the next internet sensation. Yeah, I've been watching you. Learning is never ending and even more fun when you apply learning to your own interests. Secondly, let it breathe. In our fast-paced world, we all want things to happen immediately and are looking for that instant gratification. That's not always the best answer. Sometimes we have to take a step back and reflect. Our knee-jerk reactions often aren't the best solutions. Take some time to rethink your behaviors and your decisions. You may find that this allows you to set aside your impatience and your ego, and the choices you will make will be better. If you go with the flow and make decisions, not forcing them, I know you will make them from a good place. Equally important, failure is feedback. One of the worst experiences in life is that of failure, and unfortunately, it's inevitable. But failure brings the opportunity to reassess, adapt, and overcome, which is a modified version of the unofficial mantra of the Marines. When something doesn't go your way, assess all that happened. Look at what went wrong and learn from it. Look at what went well and use it to adapt to the upcoming situations. And when you do this, you will overcome the negativity that comes with failure. Go ahead, take risks, reach beyond your comfort zone. It's in this space that true growth happens. Failure provides us with great opportunities if we allow ourselves to learn from it. Words of advice number 4, all relationships matter. The most important relationship you can have is with yourself. Look in the mirror each day and remember all that you have accomplished and all that you have to offer to the world. And don't forget self-care. We cannot properly take care of those around us if we don't properly take care of ourselves. Then, remember those around you. We all have a fabulous support network in our lives. Be grateful for everyone who encourages and promotes you. And while I'm at it, let me add, call home. This is the place that is your greatest resource and where you are accepted for who you are. As an Albanian proverb states, the sun at home warms better than the sun anywhere else. Finally, trust your journey. Anything is possible. You are about to embark on a journey riddled with obscurity and ambiguity. It might place you where you never imagined you'd be, and it might place you where you never dreamed you'd get to be. Relish in both. Every opportunity is worth pursuing high levels of success and happiness in your life, no matter where your journey takes you. And each of you deserve nothing but the best. As you leave this school for the final time, leave knowing that we are all proud of you and believe in you. We are counting on you to do your best with what you have been given, to build your own lives, to help your families, your neighbors, and your communities, to use your talents, whatever they may be, for the public good. And no matter where you go in life, no matter where you end up, be confident in yourself and be proud. Congratulations to each of you. Congratulations to the class of 2022. Thank you, and I wish you all the very best. George French, son of George and Ray French, will present the student address to the graduating class.
So how we did this graduation speech is we split it into 3 parts. And I had the part of introduction. And I think the best place to start this introduction is with a congratulations. A congratulations to the class of 2022. We made it. Next, I'd like to thank the administration. They do a lot to run this school that is unseen, unless you take Mrs. Tomford's AP Government class, which requires you to sit through at least one. I'd now like to thank the faculty who have shaped us into the people we are today. From the English teachers who have taught us how to incorporate therefore into every essay we write, to the lunch ladies and gentlemen who fuel us for the second half of the school day. Thank you. Lastly, thank you to the families and mentors who have supported, guided, and pushed us in the right direction during the most confusing time of our lives, high school. I had a little trouble thinking about what to write about in this introduction, but luckily, I'm in speech. so I can always just talk and debate with myself. In fact, this year in speech, I played two neighbors who were complete opposites in every which way, who I thought would be the perfect people to discuss what to write about. So Vernon, what in the world should I talk about?
Now what you want to talk about is that one time when Mrs. Fraser was what? No. I don't know where that story is going, but it's not going anywhere else. George, these things are meant to be funny. No, they're meant to be inspirational. You know, I just read that letter that you wrote to yourself, that one from junior high. Why don't you incorporate that into your speech?
Waldo, that is a great idea.
No, that was more of a decent idea. I was the one with the great idea.
Vernon!
All right, that was a pretty good idea.
Okay, guys, I think I got it from here. Thank you for the ideas.
Anytime, George. Yep, even though I didn't really contribute. You're welcome.
So my fellow classmates know about these letters that Waldo brought up, but the other people in the room may not. So back in 8th grade, Miss Stegman told us that we should write a letter to our future senior selves. She told us to write about our hopes and friends and favorite teachers. But we also wrote a little message. Do you mind if I share what my 8th grade self wrote? Dear future Georgie, you better be a super radical dude like I am. And if you're not, it's okay, because we're the same person. Good luck with college and be awesome. Please write back. Please write back. Please write back. Now, I just know my 8th grade self is going to be devastated when he doesn't get a return letter. Now, this got me thinking. If hypothetically I could write back to my past self, what would I say? Well, I'd start by telling my 8th grade self to try a little harder in school. I tell my past self that Fortnite V-Bucks are not the best investment. And maybe I would tell my past self who to bet on in the Kentucky Derby. But notice how I said hypothetically. Time-traveling envelopes haven't been invented, and there's no way I can tell any of this to my past self. The sad truth is, your high school days are capped off. There's no going back. So since I am the introduction, and Miss Soli is somewhere out there, I figured I should end this introduction with a thesis statement. High school was a pandemonium of memories. The future holds limitless opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Next, Olivia Huck, daughter of Phil and Vicki Huck, along with Hayden Widjum, daughter of Chris and Leah Windjum, will present an address to the student class.
Hello, class of 2022, friends, family, faculty, staff, and everyone in between. Thank you for being here tonight to celebrate with us. I'm Olivia Huck.
And I'm Hayden Windjum.
And we are honored to speak on behalf of our graduating class.
Today is the day we have been preparing and working towards for the last 13 years of our lives. Graduation is a closing of one door, but an opening of many, many more. Before we close this door, let's take a moment to reminisce on some of our best memories together.
We all have had different life paths. Some of us came from Cathedral, Our Saviors, or Highland, while others may have moved here just a few years ago. Regardless, we all have memories of elementary school and junior high that we will hold close in our hearts forever.
We love taking home Albert the Bear, raising baby chicks, the many Foursquare tournaments at recess, the Itasca trip, flag football games in gym class, and of course, we'll never forget the first extremely awkward junior high dances. These early moments in our lives not only filled our days with joy, but also brought us together as a class and helped shape us into the people we are today.
Over the past few months, we've all taken the time to reflect on both the big and the little memories that have brought us to this day. The big memories from our high school years may include our experience with dances, such as homecoming and prom, the fun-filled homecoming and snowfest weeks, competing at the varsity level for the first time, going into the postseason and playoffs in sports, speech, or Knowledge Bowl, the opening night of the spring musical, or your first solo in band, choir, or orchestra concert.
Although the big memories are important, when you reflect on your high school years, you will likely also think of the precious little moments, such as that high five you received from your best friend after you aced the test, the overwhelming excitement when you found out it's Orange Chicken Day in the cafeteria, conversations with both friends and teachers in the hallway, team bonding in the locker rooms, or feeling the euphoria of when you got first place in a Kahoot. Regardless of the memories, big or little, all of our moments together are significant and are a part of our story.
As a class, there have been many good times and great successes, but we've also had to overcome several hardships and challenges. Over the years together, we've survived Mac and Cheese Day in the cafeteria, the first locker room showers, the Visco girl outfits, ACT prep with John Baylor, online learning, hybrid schedules, and recently, the high gas prices. If we think way back to middle school, we even overcame those cringy Justice sparkle shirts and bedazzled yoga pants.
We each have a unique story as to how we made it this far, yet in each of those stories, there is some level of failure. In a society where people constantly celebrate success, such as today's graduation, sometimes we forget the many failures that we have to experience in order to lead us to that successful ending.
Failure tends to be misinterpreted. Many people think that it is the end of the world, when really, failure just means you're on the right track to achieving your goal. Now, there may be a few bumps and turns on that track, but with a will to succeed, you will make it to your destination eventually and become a stronger person because of the obstacles you've overcome. Did you know that Thomas Edison created 10,000 failed prototypes of his electric light bulb before succeeding? And as he famously said, "I have not failed, I just found 10,000 other ways that don't work."
We've all had our fair share of failures throughout the years, and whether you want to admit it or not, we probably had more failures than successes. From the failing of Zimmerman's or Stopa's tests, to failing the pull-up test in gym class, even failing your driver's test. But who would do that? Through failure, we learn how to evaluate, adapt, and modify our plan of action, but most importantly, we keep moving forward. For example, by failing, we learn lessons like how not to fall into nature center ponds. We've learned that it's disrespectful to drop-kick doors, and we've learned how to drive around and not into other cars, holes, or ditches. But in all seriousness, it is through our failures that we learn more about ourselves, grow as individuals, and move closer to success. So I suppose it's a good sign we haven't seen George in any ponds recently.
Have we all learned from our failures? Probably not. I mean, we learned that saying yes to giving a graduation speech was probably not our best choice. But 13 hours and 4 speeches later, here we are. So as you can see, it's true. Failure is all about learning.
In the recent years to come, there will be plenty of more opportunities for failure. Unfortunately, no matter where you are at in life, you will likely face problems. But it is how you respond to those problems that make the difference. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts."
So as you head into your future, don't be afraid to fail. As strange as it sounds, you should actually learn to fail. Take action, try different things, try things that scare you, step out of your comfort zone, and put yourself out there.
As a wise basketball coach of mine once told me, doers make mistakes, and if you aren't making mistakes, well, you aren't doing enough. So go do great things, and don't worry about the mistakes you will make along the way.
We are excited to see what the future has in store for our class. Our journey together has been full of memories, major milestones, and little moments. We have shared and celebrated victories and successes. And yes, we have each experienced our fair share of failures along the way as well. But we wouldn't change any of it because all of these things make up our story.
Thank you, class of 2022.
Here we go.
Thank you, Olivia and Hayden. And now we welcome Ainsley Boucher, daughter of John and Stephanie Boucher, who will present a student address to the graduating class.
Whoops, that's a bit of a mishap there. There we go. All right. You couldn't pay me enough money to go back to high school. High school, those were the best days of my life. Ask anyone if they'd ever want to go back and relive their high school years, and you're likely to hear one of those two responses. There seems to be only two camps. The ones who would go back in a heartbeat, and those who say there isn't enough money in the world to make them want to go back to high school. Clearly, not everyone shared the same experiences in their high school years. Some came in happy and bubbly and remained that way throughout their years here, finding joy in every single day. There are those who dreaded every single moment, counting down the seemingly endless days until graduation. Some have had days where they can identify with each of these different scenarios and experiences. Although the majority of us relatively enjoyed our time here, we need to consider that others might not share our experiences or have had it so easy. High school can be an unfair tool for measurement, a measurement of intelligence, popularity, worthiness, an inaccurate measurement or prediction of future success. No one's high school experience was perfect, but that doesn't mean we didn't try to make the best of our time here together. Most of us found friendship in this building, most of us felt secure being here, and most of us found a moment to shine. We walked through these doors around 1,000 times in the past 6 years. That means at least one teacher in this building encouraged you to learn something, to pay attention, to figure it out over 1,000 times. That also means some of you were disciplined over 1,000 times. Teachers, no wonder you were so exhausted. During our time here, we were supposed to learn not only the basics and core subjects, we were supposed to learn how to be considerate of others, how to be a steward of knowledge, and how to be a good citizen. Although we may not have recognized it at the time, we were preparing for our lives after high school. Some of us can't wait to get out of here and start our lives, to set forth in the world and discover who we are. Many of us are going to leave here and go on to be successful in our personal lives, careers, and communities using the lessons we learned here, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We are going to emerge from these doors ready to go forward, looking ahead to the future. There will be some who don't want to let go of these days and experiences, those who aren't ready to move ahead and leave these glory days behind. Class of 2022, let's return to Crookston High School 10, 20, 30 years from now, recalling pleasant memories of friendships, good teachers, fun times, and valuable life lessons learned. Let us laugh thinking about how far we've come. Let us reunite as a group of people who are living lives that are exciting, successful, and full of service to others and our communities. Let our days here not be the highlight of our lives. Let us not be those who say their high school days were the best days of their lives. Our best days are yet to come. Thank you.
At this time, the Crookston High School Choir will perform Home by Philip Phillips. It has been customary for the graduating class to select a member of the high school staff to address them at their commencement ceremony. This year's class has selected Gary Stegman. Mr. Stegman has served the school district as a visual arts instructor for 29 years. On behalf of the senior class, it is a pleasure to welcome Mr. Stegman as this year's commencement speaker.
$29? Here. 34. Long years, and this is the first time I've addressed a senior class. Seniors, parents, members of the community, good evening. It is an honor to address, on behalf of the faculty of Crookston High School, the seniors of 2022. I would like to thank the high school senior selection of speakers. They did a fantastic job. I would like to give them a round of applause. Those of you that didn't speak seniors, I have a question for you. You were just asked to address the class of 22. What would your topic be? That's a scary thing to deal with. There are 4 people that dealt with that topic. I did a little research. I looked into that. I want to share that tonight. But I would like to go maybe a little bit of a different direction. Parents, this past week, the yearbooks were handed out. And when the yearbooks get handed out, education kind of stops because the kids, they're looking in the yearbooks. And what are they doing in the yearbooks? They are doing, to a large extent, the topics that a lot of these addresses would be about. One of the things that the seniors are asked to do is to give a life quote. Imagine that you were to come up here and talk about your life quote to the class of 2022, to the parents, to the members of the community. What would that do to you just in the process of preparing that? I'll tell you what it would do. Choosing a life quote causes you to reflect. It causes you to project. It causes you to do things that are marvelous, skills that are necessary as you walk forward. I want you to think about that. That's what I've chosen to do, is talk about a life quote. I wrote a whole bunch of them down. Think about this: never tear down a fence unless you know why it was built in the first place. Always do the right thing. Not the easy thing, the right thing. Never say 2 negative things in a row. Leave a place better than the way you found it. Statements like that, I don't know who said them originally. I find them to be great statements, enough that I adopt them and I go forward with my life and I try to live them. Could you do that with your life quote? Tonight's life quote that we're going to talk about is not my life quote, but it is a quote that I have found to be very handy. It's from Socrates. He said it roughly in the year 400 BC. Here's what he said: "An unexamined life is not worth living." That statement is the centerpiece of our conversation tonight. What does it mean that an unexamined life is not worth living? So I told you I did a little bit of research. What are the topics that often get discussed in a graduation commencement speech? There are basically 3 that get hit quite often. The first one is nostalgia and the past. Oh boy, we've talked about that, haven't we? That's a wonderful thing. We talk about the future, and then advice for going into that future. Our 4 seniors did those things really very well. I did a bit more research. When I was thinking about this, I polled my classes. What things are you nostalgic about? Well, I'll tell you what, when the seniors name those things, just check. I don't even have to read all of them. But I'll start with the Itasca trip. Wasn't that great? One student said the entire 6th grade, best year of my life. The playground, recess. Here are some that you left out. Blizzards, no school. Parents, I don't know if you've really thought about this one. 2W day lunches. That was pretty fun. Being in sports with my friends. Not just being in sports. Hannah Loris, I was so impressed with this, I'm crediting you with this one because we see it all the time. This is a quote, sitting at lunch with like 12 people. If you step back and look at all those things, they're events, they're people. It's what we're thankful for. Have you really thought much about your past? What is the purpose of a past? Socrates says that without examining our past, then there really isn't a purpose to our past. But if we examine our past, we learn a lot from it. Larry Barton, some of you remember Larry Barton, he said the same thing in a different way. He said, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. I appreciate that. Those two people made basically the same statement, 2,400 years apart. I'm going to turn my page here. Seniors, show of hands. How many of you have done something that you were really proud of? How many of you plan to repeat that thing? Hold them up high so Mom and Dad can see in the back. All right, seniors, here we go. How many of you did something you regret doing? More hands. How many of you plan on repeating what you did? How many of you plan on making a change? An unexamined life. Mr. Barton's quote is similar. It's going to help you in your path forward. So as we look at our past, we see that some things went well, some things didn't go so well. Why is this important? Because all of the people, all of the events, all the places, the routines that we established become what we call normal, baseline. Do you want to go back to high school? Then you're going back to your baseline. I don't know that you want to do that. I'm speaking for the faculty. We don't want you to come back to, well, some of you would like to come back, but most of you, we want you to leave that baseline, to examine your past, and to go forward. That's what the past is meant to be. It tells you who you are, it tells you where you come from, and as the song over here talked about, it reminds you of home. What's the home quote? The sun always shines brighter at home than it does anywhere else. I like that. Home is important. Your past is important. It tells you where you begin. It starts this reflection thing. Then there is the future. We've talked about the future. All right, seniors, again, I'm going to ask you, raise your hand if you've been asked just today, so what are your future plans? A lot of hands are up there. How many have you been asked that question this week? Yeah, okay. Those of you that are having your open houses tomorrow, guess what question you're going to get asked? Is it important to have a future? If you have a future, then you have a direction, you have a drive. If you don't have a future, if you don't have hope, then you don't have that drive. I am going to go there. I am going to shoot the ball there. When you have a future, it moves your feet. If you don't have a future, if you don't have the hope, then your feet don't go anywhere. That's why all of these people who love you are asking you if you have a future. They want you to have a future. So seniors, do you have a dream? What are your goals? I want you to think about that. I might even ask you to write that down in a little bit. I want you to imagine a ship. We are the pirates. We have this metaphorical ship. What do pirates do? They go in their ship and they get treasure. That's what pirates do. I want you to think about other boats. Mr. Garman, what do boats do? They take you fishing. There are some boats in Duluth that are going to take grain from the Red River Valley and feed the world. There are some ships that take people to vacation destinations. Boats carry a cargo. The cargo determines the destination. The destination is the future. If you know anything at all about ships, you would also know that the river, the ocean, the currents take a boat off of its course. And so the people who drive the boat are constantly making course corrections. You will be making constant course directions. The third corner of our little time triangle, we have the past, we have the future, and we have the present. The present is the time between the past and the future, and it's where we spend most of our time. Life is a string of decisions, and we make them in what we call the now. We make our decisions based on our past and where we want to go in our future. Indulge me for a moment as I tell you one of my favorite stories. 2 Christmases ago, we adopted a dog. Her name is Tony, and I don't know about you guys, but our dog's the best dog ever. I've heard some opposition to that. I wanted you to know a little bit about our dog, Tony. She was born in March of 2019. She was a COVID puppy. And she was put into a family right at the beginning of COVID. We don't know all the details, but I can share that it was an older couple. Now think about this, an older couple right at the beginning of COVID, and everything shut down. Who walked Tony? How many doggy friends did Tony have? How many people did Tony meet? We don't know all the stories. I can only guess some things, but we know that there was some abuse. And at a certain point, that dog had to be taken from its home to an animal shelter. Just stop and think about that. Okay, I have no doggy friends, and now I'm in a cage with 1,000 doggies that I've never met, and they're all barking at me. I am scared. And all these strange people come, and they're trying to be nice to me, but I don't trust any of them. Eventually, our dog Tony was sent to a foster family. Our dog Tony was in 3 different homes in about a month's time. You think she was confused? What do you think our dog Tony thought about her past? In the meantime, our family is thinking about getting a dog. My daughter will fill you in on all the details. I'll leave that out of the speech, but there's lots to tell. And eventually we settled on Tony. And we went to visit Tony. When we got to the foster family, my wife walked in the door, I walked in the door. My wife got great treatment. I got barks for 15 minutes without stopping. This dog hated me. I was given treats. I got down in Tony's level. I fed her treats. She eventually stole the treats and then ran behind her foster mom. She wanted nothing to do with me. We were told that this dog does not get along with older males. Females, okay. People that come in like a missile, sorry kids, Tony's not your dog. My wife and I got in the car. We started to drive home, and we asked ourselves, what are we going to do? Are we going to just let this dog go, or are we going to pursue it? And I told my wife, we're going to pursue that dog. She said, are you kidding? That dog hates you. I wanted to do it. I thought about Tony's past. And I thought about how a little bit of love, a little bit of socialization, a lot of treats, are going to turn that dog around. We talked to the foster mom. She said, so what did you think? And we said, we're going to come back and visit again. She said, oh, good. I didn't think you were even going to come back. She said, I want you to try something. What's that? I want you to get a fleece blanket, and I want you to lay on it. I want you to sit on it. When you come back the second time, I want you to bring it here. Okay, wasn't sure why we did that. We visited. It went much better. Not perfect. But after we left, the foster mom put the blanket on the couch. And guess what Tony did? She laid on the blanket. At a certain point, Tony left her past behind, and she adopted us. When we went back the third time, she pretty much met us at the door, said, let's go. We brought Tony home. A lot of course corrections. Some of you work at drive-ups where our dog barked at you. She doesn't bark at you anymore because she knows that pup cups come out of those windows. Our dog doesn't bark at strangers like she used to. How many course corrections needed to be made? We, seniors, parents, members of the community, are more like Tony than we know. I don't know what your past is. Some of you are going to the military, some of you are going to work, some of you are going to college. A lot of you are going to have a new zip code real soon. Are you socialized to handle that new situation? How are you going to make those decisions? The answer is the time triangle. You understand your past, you have set goals, you have a future, and then the rest is to live in the now. We said that life is a constant string of decisions. I want to give you 3 pieces of advice as to how to make those changes. Number 1, find somebody who's been there and done that. Seek them out. Talk to them. Why? Because they've been there and they've done that. They might have some advice for you. They'll tell you a better route to go from the past to the future. When I was 28 years old, my oldest brother passed away. He passed away because of decisions he made in his past. He made some bad decisions. It caught up to him at age 39. Just a few months before he passed away, I had no idea that this was going to happen. None of us do. He and I were having a heart-to-heart conversation, and he said something to me. Here's a life quote. Are you ready? He said, "Never say woulda, coulda, shoulda. I could have done that thing. I should have done that thing. I shouldn't do that thing." Never say woulda, coulda, shoulda. Does that help you make course corrections as you go through your life today? Just a few months after he said that, he died. You've been to funerals. What do you think? What do you do? What do you say? Well, at the very least, you take the words that they said and you honor them by living them. Life quotes. That's one thing you can do to honor those people as a tribute to them. When I find myself in those situations, my brother's voice is in the back of my head. My dad's voice is in the back of my head saying, do the right thing, not the easy thing. Do the right thing, do the right thing. Why is that important? So that in the now, you can make better decisions, you can make course corrections. Number 2, have a compass. Do you know what a compass is? Yeah, it's that thing that you hold in your hand. Johnny Depp, it tells him where not to go, okay? Our compass tells us where to go. Do you have a compass? A compass is a set of rules that we live by. Do you have a set of rules that you live by? Be kind. Be grateful. Honor the absent. Respect everybody. Listen first. Talk second. Do you have a compass? When you are making hard decisions and you don't know what to do, you take your decision and you rub it up against your compass, your life quote, and the answer is usually right there. And number 3, when you get to your destination, guard your decisions. My students have heard me quote more than once Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey wrote a book. I won't go into it too deeply, but he says that if you do something 3 times in a row, it's a habit. If you don't believe me, how is your snooze alarm? After 3 times, it's just what you do. When you arrive in the military, when you arrive at your job, when you arrive at college, your first 3 weeks, guard your habits. What you do in the first 3 weeks is what you will do for the next however many years. Guard your footsteps, guard your habits. Seniors, in closing, why are we here tonight? We're here to graduate. Should we get on to that? Yeah. Celebrate your achievements with your family. I want you to know something, seniors. There's like a foot of space between all of you, and all the parents are sitting shoulder to shoulder, waving themselves with a fan. Let's get this thing done. By the way, it was 82 degrees today. Just thought you'd like to know that. Celebrate your achievements. You're going to graduate here soon. On Monday morning, though, the real education begins. Some of you are going to go to work on Monday. Some of you are going to sleep in, and when you wake up, you're going to have a choice to make. Let me give you a little challenge. Take out a piece of paper. Write down the names of people who have been there and done that. Write down the names of people that have helped you on your journey and thank them. Make it a point to do that. Write down a life quote. Memorize it. Have a list. Where are you going? Have a goal. The real tragedy is not having a goal. People that don't have a goal stay where they're at. Find people to give you advice. Find a life compass. Commit to using it. Guard your steps. But tonight, let's celebrate our graduation. Look around, literally. Turn around. Look around. Drink it in. You're going to be walking across the stage. We have put together a ceremony. We have invited people to watch you. They are going to honor you. This is a celebration tonight, and let's get on with it. Congratulations, class of 2022. And on behalf of the faculty, we wish you the very, very best.
Superintendent Olson, Board Chair Fee, CHS faculty, honored guests. As principal of Crookston High School, it is my duty and honor to inform you the class of 2022 has completed the course of study prescribed by the Board of Education of Crookston School District 593 and the state of Minnesota, together with the rights, honors, and privileges pertaining thereto given this day, Friday, May 27, 2022. As such, I declare this class of 2022 to be graduated.
As we call the graduates, we ask that you remain seated as our local media will take care of pictures as the students receive their diploma. Would the first row please rise? Blaine Paul Andringa. Morgan Shea Arguelles. Emily Concepcion Balboa. Kendall Lynn Bergquist. With highest honors, Aaliyah Hope Bennick. With highest honors, Ainsley Catherine Boucher. Jocelyn Elizabeth Brecken. Maverick Ryan Broden. Joseph Allen Bruley. Brooks Robert Butt. Bailey Ann Cameron. Chadwick Kevin Childress. With high honors, Evan Eli Christensen. Eric James Coet. With highest honors, Jenna Jean Coet. Austin Garrett Crawford. Cade Augustine De Leon. With honors, James Allen De Leon. Jasmine Jean Doye. Christopher Esperaquata. George David French. Jackson Orville Garman. Gunnar Ludwig Gunderson. Hanako Marie Hansen. Jacob David Hesby. Madison Rachel Hoyland. With highest honors, Olivia Jean Huck. Taylor Emma Johnson. Zach Lauren Johnson. Samantha Rose Kelly Holge. Brianna K. Kelly. Alex Edmund Kazitka. With highest honors, Brianna Danielle Cresson. Ashton Andrew Larson. JC Lynn Larson. With honors, Hannah May Lindemont. With honors, Justin Allen Lindgren. Christina Faith Lissoff. With highest honors, Ava Siobhan Lopez. With highest honors, Hannah Jo Loris. With high honors, Clara Judith Meyer. With highest honors, Hayden John McKelson. Gage Paul Nelson. Grant Eugene Nelson. Ellie Mae Nesseth. Travis Arthur Newquist. Luke Dennis Noah. Devin Michael Noring. Claire Elizabeth Oman. With high honors, Emma Adeline Osborne. With honors, Amelia Agnes Overgaard. With highest honors, Mason William Owens. Angelica Lynn Perala. Allie Ray Peralt. Alice Lynn Proffer. Eli J. Brunetta. Richard Luis Ramirez. With highest honors, Haley Cecilia Raymond. Andrew Renee Rocha. Thomas Anthony Rocha. Elizabeth Sanchez. Samantha Marie Sanders. Kimberly Laylene Sacido. With highest honors, Amanda Grace Schultz. Andrew Joseph Schweedy. Quinn Nicole Siegley. With highest honors, Riley Deborah Solheim. Samuel Alexander Stewart. With honors, Mallory Rose Sundin. With highest honors, Alexia Alora Threet. With highest honors, Austin William Trinkle. Traden James Turnwall. Carissa Jean Wagner. Dylan Marie Wallace. Isaac Jaden Wandre. Wyatt Nicholas Weiland. Jonah Rodney Williams. With highest honors, Hayden Paulette Windjum. Brady Allen Wisk.
Would the class please rise? The turning of a tassel is a tradition used to signify a person's transition from candidate to graduate. At the high school level, the tassel is worn on the right side of the cap at the start of the ceremony. Now that you have received your diplomas, graduates, please move your tassels to the left. It is my privilege to present to you for the first time the Crookston High School alumni class of 2022. This concludes our ceremony. Please stay seated until the recessional is complete. Thank you for coming.